I mean, it would be.
They don't.
I think it's good. So, ready? It's actually where it's the screen over here, which is that screen. Yeah, that is the screen further over, which is everybody is in remote. Should mimic. This is a separate screen, but I think it's
Nobody else.
I know we've been chatting with I was here a week ago to like get some design room and we did triple screen. Presenter view on the laptop, then the screen mirrored, and then all right, well, I don't know what I'm saying. Every time we went back to
Big brain. I don't know if you'll be able to
I'm happy to sit down. I don't know what they're all about.
Hi, my name is Brenda Beckdorf. I'm the Executive Director for Alberta IoT. We'll get started right away. How many here are here for the first time? Nice. So we have a way of starting our meetings where we want to know who's in our room. And so what we will do is we'll go up and down, get to stand, you get to say your name, your company, and a very, very quick what you do. We'll start here.
Hello everybody, my name is Guillermo Munoz. I'm with Masteration Analytica. We're a startup based out of Calgary doing solutions in AI and IoT end-to-end from data gathering to user experience.
Good morning. I'm Brenda Yanko. I'm part of the Data Hive team, and one of my main areas of responsibility is finance and administration. Good Good morning, everybody. I'm Marjorie Zingle, an owner of Data Hive, and we're a data center. We specialize in security and special needs for clients.
Thank you, Marjorie. Good morning. My name is Renee Sluice. I'm with Bulletproof IT, managed service company based in Red Deer and Calgary.
You want to just hand it right behind you, and we'll do it that way.
Hi, my name is Raman Sajalipur. I'm with NCS. I'm looking after the electric New people or?
Just first time here.
Good morning. My name's Al Bergson. I'm with a company called Converge. We're a silver partner doing work on the Microsoft stack, including IoT. So it's a good reason to be here.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Martin. I'm with Longview Systems. I'm the principal architect for IoTs with Longview.
Steve Pettick with Hawkeye, and we do wireless monitoring.
Good morning. I'm Ross Turner. I'm with a company called Asperity, and we do intelligent visual monitoring.
My name is Jose Zuluaga. I work for AT&T, providing services to share.
Good morning. My name is Ricardo Gutierrez. I'm working for Stratasys. It's a company in Colombia, South America. We are developing IoT solutions, and we're trying to establish here some kind of business or relation with you guys. Thanks.
I'm Darren Devanche with Rogers Communications, and we're responsible for the data center and cloud portfolio.
I'm Dave Amaro. I'm with Rocky Mountain Embedded Design, and we specialize in the design of intrinsically safe products, and we're here to understand how that fits into IoT.
Hi, my name's Wayne Kushnerek, and I've been part of this group before, but I'm new in the respect that I'm now working for the NRC and the IRAP program.
Good morning, I'm Laura Brown. I'm a privacy consultant, totally different to you guys, but I still have a value proposition for you. Thank you.
IoT? Yeah. Mark Speaker at Microsoft. I'll be speaking with you a bit later.
Thank you.
Denis Fouché, IoT Partner Ecosystem, Microsoft. I will be a speaker too.
James Sarger with Autosolve. We do protocol conversion for IoT.
Alan Jones from Manpower. I do the IT recruiting for Alberta.
My name is Mark Alford. I work for a marketing agency called Bottom Line, and we are focused around everything tech.
My name is Bryce McDermott, and I'm with a marketing company called Marketing Space, and we also do small, hey, it's good to meet you, startup and small tech business.
My name is Graham Such. I'm with Cybera. We're a not-for-profit tech-neutral organization that runs the backhaul for a lot of the public service. So the best way to explain it to my kids, we save the taxpayers a lot of money.
Hi, Lasha Hache. I'm here with the Hunter Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and my role is in community engagement.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Shapka. I'm with Alternative Funding Partners, and we help companies that get declined from a bank, and we help them with alternative funding.
Hi, I'm Maria Cho. I'm business development for a small tech startup here in Calgary called EOS Cafe Block.
Hi, I'm Sepesh Sabur. I'm a graduate student from University of Calgary, and I'm working on IoT.
Hello, my name is Mark Zawalka. I work for NetApp, and I help customers with their storage requirements from edge.
I'm Dave Botterill with Equinix. We're the world's largest data center company. Doing an event here actually next week with to review our networking stuff and with SpaceX and their global satellite program.
And my name is Russ Seigert. I'm actually here for two different purposes. One is for NetApp, so we're again IoT Edge Core Cloud, but I'm also the IoT business development lead for Innovate Canmore. So.
Colin Forsyth. I'm a solution architect with the digital transformation team at Syncro.
Greg Barber. I'm a business architect with the digital transformation group with Syncron also.
Paul Moore. I'm with Software G, and I'm their energy advisor.
Good morning. My name is Luke Wan from Gauling WLG. I'm a patent agent. My work is to help innovators and innovation companies to protect their IP, including patents and trademarks. IoT is one of my areas, so I'm here.
Hi, I'm Sean McCarthy. I'm with iJack Technologies. You may not have heard of us, but we make the world's best multi-phase fluid transfer pump.
My name's Adam Funk. I'm a firmware engineer with Forest Innovations Incorporated. We make cycling athletic sensors for professional athletes and for cycling enthusiasts.
Hi, I'm Josh Savetti from Smartphone Technologies and Business Development. We do edge technology, IoT, connected work, pretty much everything end to end.
So I think we've got everybody. There's lots of space over on this side if you'd like to come over and join us.
Did you want to check with the remote people? Is there anybody remotely that hasn't introduced themselves?
Hi there. Hi, can you hear me? I'm Roger Lee. I'm an independent site reliability engineer. I don't represent the company I work for right now, but I'm highly interested in cloud-based operations, especially IoT. So I'm here to listen in.
Thank you. Anyone else on the line?
Hi, my name is Manuel Vera. I'm the network engineer for Sigfox Canada. We are an IoT dedicated company which covers end-to-end from all the way from BC to Newfoundland.
Awesome. Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, hi, this is Ben Walker from NCC Group. We're a full-fledged cybersecurity organization, about 2,000 consultants worldwide. We have a particular focus on testing in sort of the firmware, embedded systems, IoT type space.
Okay. So as you can see, we have a number of people on Zoom. We have an Edmonton location as well that is also Zooming in right now. So I'll give you a little bit of a quick overview of Alberta IoT because there is quite a few of you new in the room, and then we'll get right going. So Alberta IoT started a couple of years ago here in Calgary. We have 8 founders. And what our focus is on is, one, the IoT community. We want visibility. But one of our best success stories is when you start working together and collaborating and are able to actually go to market and get more business. And I've actually talked to someone here today who was saying that they're now working with 2 or 3 people because of these type of meetings. So our focus is to increase visibility, but also the business growth for all of you. And so we're pushing towards doing more and more events where we put both IoT companies in the room, but we also want to put business leaders in the room that you potentially could work with. So today we're going to talk a lot with Microsoft, but first we'll go through just a couple little decks about what we're doing over the next little while. Most of you probably have heard about our geospatial events. We do 3 major events a year. We just did one in October that was Smart Cities. This one is focused obviously on oil and gas in the geospatial area. TC Energy is coming in. They're going to talk about the challenges they're finding in the oil and gas sector, and they're going to ask us to facilitate a conversation on how potentially one of you guys or a number of you guys could come together and actually help them solve that problem. So after you're done the event that night, you will be able to go to a portal on our website and download your solution, and then we're going to bring around a bunch of you together in the round table to facilitate that conversation. So our goal is to have more and more of these major events where you guys are having conversation with leaders out there who have a problem and we want you to help fix it. So we will be doing another event in May. It'll be in agriculture. And so you'll start seeing more and more of these type of events. And it'll give you guys the opportunity to actually have conversations with some of the leaders out there. So please do go to our website if you want to attend. So our events coming up, if you go to our website, you can register. We have a ton of events coming up. They're not all up on the website right now, but within the next week, you will start seeing quite a few of them. So next month, we have Kip from Four Eyes speaking, and I know there's a couple Four Eyes people in here now. This is a success story in the IoT space, and we want to share what it's like to go through the journey of a success story. In April, we have Lenovo coming in, and they're flying in a specialist in the IoT space. Again, they're going to talk about their journey. Throughout the month, we have technical lunch and learns coming up. Avaya is going to talk about their platform. It's a communication platform that is potentially something that you guys would be interested in. And then we're going to do a business section on March 12th, and it's on LinkedIn and how to do sales on LinkedIn, how to be visible. And I'm actually going to host that because I love teaching LinkedIn, and you'll see that throughout the day today, how much I like pushing visibility. So that's coming up. So you go to our website and you'll find all of this information. Other industry events coming up. We have an IoT and oil and gas event coming up next week at the Stampede Ground. Mark, our chair, is speaking at it. Suzette, you're speaking at it, and I'm speaking at it. And it's a 2-day conference on the ground. In Edmonton in April, we're doing another 2-day blockchain IoT AI event. I know I'm on one of the panels, and I think there's a couple other members here that are involved in that. And then we have a huge event, IoT North, at the TELUS Convention Center in May. And again, there's a bunch of us that are speaking to that. It's you'll see a lot of information flowing through our website, registration, all that type of stuff. So we're asking that you go to our website. All the registration, all the ticket prices, all the information's all there for you. Okay?
Just to speak to that quickly, there's a 20% discount that we've negotiated with the folks at IoT North.
Yeah.
So if you are an Alberta IoT member company, you can get a discount on event space there.
Oh, I thought I knew that. So other opportunities for members, we just expanded our events committee because we are very busy. Our next committee that we want to form is a membership committee. We went from 40 members to 110 members in 6 months. Great to have that problem, but we have so much interest in us right now. We have 700 people on our mailing list, and they're all asking questions. So we'd like to turn around and put a membership committee together. Again, on our website, you can actually send us notes. We get them, and we will respond. It might take a day, but we will respond. If you're interested in being involved with us, please let us know, and we'll start coordinating that committee. The other part we're going to do, and we have been doing, is technical events. So if you are a member of Alberta IoT and you want to talk about your business, it can't be salesy. It's got to be an educational component. We will facilitate an event for you. So again, you go to the website, there's a place to download the information, and we'll set you up. So we're going to talk about Microsoft today. Mark's speaker is going to come up, and we'll let you take over.
If everybody's remote, anyway, if you could go on mute, I think that would help.
Yeah.
Is that here? That's fine. Trying not to strangle myself. How's that? Can you hear me okay? What's
I thought I had it right.
Just present. You got it up there. Just push present.
I did something.
I usually get the blame for the guy at Microsoft. Eventually, it's a PowerPoint issue. I own it. That's okay. First of all, this is fantastic. Like, you guys are the future of Alberta. That when I heard all the different things that people are involved in, that really gets me excited. You think about, Microsoft would not be here if it wasn't for partners. To me, this is like the grassroots of community. It's not about the big announcements that we make or all the platforms that we provide. It's people like yourselves doing work with companies like us and our competitors as well. But to me, that's what really excites me as somebody who's lived his whole life in Alberta, and my parents and their parents and my kids, and I want this province to just take off like a rocket. These are the kinds of groups that are going to make it happen. if you think about just connecting with the people in this group, take the time to connect with others, because I hear everything from finance groups to IoT inventors to startups to bigger organizations. A lot of the people you need to meet are right here, and hopefully you see some of the people you need to meet is the ones at Microsoft.
So I'll just give you a tip. Stand between that here. This is our video here. This is where.
Okay.
And can everybody remotely see the screen? We're sharing the screen. Do you see the presentation?
Yeah, everything looks great.
Positive. Okay, great. I got a face for radio. So it's okay. I wanted to talk about 3 major trends that I see in IoT. We could talk about a lot more. First of all, I'm not talking about retail, but retail is absolutely taking off. We were just at the National Retail Foundation, and Satya Nadella gave a talk there, but that is just an unbelievable change if you look at that. I am, first of all, I am the industry guy for manufacturing and resources for Microsoft Canada. I used to cover all of Canada. Now I just cover Western Canada as we expand, but everything industrial I cover, oil and gas, mining, utilities, etc. So, as well as agriculture. If you just want to go on mute.
Yeah, can everybody remotely please go on mute? We're getting some background noise from background conversation.
Not wasting my head. So if you can go on mute on remote, that would be great.
You open the participant window.
Should be able to mute now. Instead of me starting to
some people don't.
You're busy talking.
Let's continue on.
So, and I'm not covering oil and gas today.
You have to go to manage participants. It's usually in the drop-down share menu.
I got it.
Oh, it is on there now. Cool, I did update that.
Nice. So there's 1,000 things we could talk about now that you're here at Microsoft, and we hope that you ask questions and maybe we can direct you to the people that you want to meet at all levels of the organization. There's actually 80 people in Microsoft that live in Calgary. A lot of people don't even know that, but 80 of us, and many members here in the crowd today, but at all levels, whether you're a startup, mid-sized company, large company, there's people that you can talk to, and specific to IoT or all the other technologies, we're happy to help connect you to the right people. I thought I would talk about 3 topics today that I find particularly interesting, and if I can get you to kind of back up a step and think, broad strokes, because there's some major things happening in the world that we see that are driving this technology. And some of you are very involved in the industries and very deep already. But I wanted to just back up for 1 second. And so the first topic where I see it, and I see Dave and I grew up on farms not far from each other here, and the change in agriculture today.
There's a clicker there for you.
Is unbelievable. Okay, yeah, thank you. There we go. That'll help. So if you look at that, what's driving a lot of this stuff today? We were just talking about water. Dave and I were just talking about water. Think about it. 70% of all the world's water is used for agriculture. 70% of all the world. And if you think about the population of the planet, we're talking about getting to 10 billion people. Like, think broad strokes. And this is what Microsoft thinks of. Many of you might have heard, a couple of years ago, we said that we're going to put $5 billion into advancing IoT. $5 billion just at Microsoft. Competitors are putting tons in. You're putting tons of money in. Think about all of the things. Think of agriculture. And if 90% of the water, according to the study, you could debate that, if 90% of irrigation water used currently, could be saved by using, things like drones and IoT and other technology, what are you gonna do? There's all kinds of opportunity. When I think about how I grew up farming in a very simple manner with a simple tractor and no drill that was intelligent at all, to now where we're talking about tons of indoor farming. People are talking about that in Alberta, etc. Almost no soil, where we had tons of soil. Rotating IoT devices that are, feeding plants daily by the minute. That whole world is about to change in a huge way. So we work with some of the largest companies, you know, the Nutrients of the world. They're doing very interesting things in agriculture, and with this, you know, startups that have grown quickly, the Farmer's Edge. Many of you know there's other companies like that that are transforming farming. So I would encourage you to think about the difference you can make, because look at even with all the food that we produce today, how many people are going hungry? 795 million. Number of people globally suffering from hunger. When I talk to the major grocers, for example, they're still dealing with huge amounts of food waste. We're producing all kinds of food that goes through the process and then gets thrown out every day. That has got to be completely transformed, completely changed. And and it's going to be done piece by piece by piece by individual companies like yourselves, not the majors like us. Microsoft is a platform company. We're always going to be a platform company. We hope that we're a platform company that's easy to use, that you can accelerate and do all these things with. We're not going to be out trying to solve the needs of agriculture by ourselves. You know, and that's pretty evident. Flip ahead. So where do we see the big solution areas, and where is that happening? Right? Digital farms that I talked about. The farm that I grew up on, we never had drones. Currently today, there's drones flying all the time, mapping that land, looking at, you know, soil conditions, salinity, etc., creating those precision ag solutions. I mentioned Farmer's Edge. Maybe a number of you know that. You know, last time we spoke to them, there was like 100 developers in Lethbridge, close to where I grew up, and lots more. Those kinds of things, we wouldn't even have dreamed about that when I was growing up. And I sound like I'm a lot older than I am when I talk like that, but it's unbelievable. Intelligent machines, I'm going to show you at the end, I'll show you a video of one of the companies, a partner company that we work with, not just working with IoT, but autonomy in agriculture, and that's kind of the third trend. That's going to change things in a big way. And also reducing risk. So it's not just about the massive farms and you know, the agriculture that you see in Alberta and Canada, but think about areas like Africa, etc., where people get wiped out. When their crop gets wiped out for 1 year, 2 years in a row, whole populations are getting wiped out, and that has to change as well. So that's why we see massive changes to agriculture. If you want to see more on what Microsoft's done, we have what's called the Farm Beats program. So we started on the IoT side, much like many of you have, not with this giant program of IoT, but people with some basic ideas, simple drones, simple IoT devices, solar panels, stuff we put together in a farm outside of Washington. If you ever want to see that, just look up Farm Beats and look it up our public videos on YouTube. Super interesting. So where are we going from to, right? IoT helps agriculture businesses adapt super quickly. And those are the, you can look through them, but we're going from a labor-intensive world to a tech-intensive world. Our CEO, Satya Nadella, talks about tech intensity, and that's what you are bringing to your customers. How do you bring that tech intensity where there's been little or no tech before and take them right to the end state and say, how should that operate completely differently? We're seeing that in the driving world. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, but we're going from areas where if you've done anything manually, one of our premier customers here, Suncor Energy, work with them a lot. They've got a huge autonomous fleet. It's not truly autonomous in a way, it's more robotic, but if you see the impact of that and what that autonomy could bring, that's the kind of change from in this world. Driving is going to be one of those things, and there's lots of driving in agriculture. Short haul driving, long haul driving. That world is about to change. One of our competitors, Google, through Waymo, has 60,000 vehicles that they're deploying in Phoenix that are working on self-driving. I actually think it's much harder to do autonomous driving naturally like we do, driving to work, but there's lots of opportunities in the near term that are going to happen in areas like agriculture because they're shorter, they're more planned routes. All of that needs to be enabled through IoT. If you can't sense where everything is, the condition of it all, you can't move to the next level, which is autonomy. Okay, so because I've only got 20 minutes, I'm going to keep rolling. but we can talk lots about agriculture. We have people that specialize in that. We have an industry team just about agriculture. Next area I want to talk about is sustainability. How many of you have seen Microsoft's latest sustainability announcement? And so, of course, we're inside Microsoft, so we get covered with it. Any show of hands? Hardly, just one or two of you have seen that. I have never seen such a change since Christmas. People talking about sustainability, emissions, etc. And the big change that I see is in the financial markets. So if you look at Exxon, Chevron, BP, Suncor included, the market change for companies that are serious emitters is going to change the world, and it's going to be much harder for our companies here to raise capital, and we're seeing that when we talk to lots of the mid-level companies in oil and gas, and that is why sustainability has moved to a different level. Cenovus just announced a major sustainability initiative going neutral by 2030. These things are going to drive enormous numbers of IoT scenarios, and I'm going to explain that here, but quickly, what did Microsoft announce? And it's important to understand just the basics of this so that you understand how it's going to affect other companies who are going to make similar commitments. It's very aggressive. If you understand the concept of Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions, Scope 1 is your direct emissions. What does your company emit directly through producing your product or selling your service? Okay? That's not a lot for Microsoft necessarily, but like for the world, we're emitting 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide. And we can debate, exactly how much and how accurate that is, but if it's roughly 50 billion tons every year, that's a lot. Scope 2 is the emissions from the electricity or heat that was sent to your operations. So who's your power plant? Are they burning coal? Are they burning, is it hydropower? What is that? That's your Scope 2 emissions. And Scope 3 is upstream and downstream from you. All the stuff you needed to create your factories, et cetera, and all the emissions downstream. So for Microsoft, when you use that laptop, you use electricity on that laptop, we're counting that as Scope 3 emissions. And we've set some really audacious goals, and people are even saying, is this even possible? So we have 16.1 megatons across Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, right? So all of that. So if you think, or 6.1 and then 12 in Scope 3 emissions, that's a lot. But guess what? That's less than the top 10 enterprise oil and gas companies here in Calgary. Everyone would be more because obviously you're in the business of oil and gas, or you're in creating fertilizer, or you're creating power. That's less than all of those. Microsoft has said, we are going to chop that in a huge way. We're going to take responsibility for that. So we're going to reduce our emissions by more than half. We're going to be carbon negative by 2030. So we're going to have to get to zero. We're going to have to go from 16 to 8. We're going to take down directly, and that's from using wind power, et cetera, for all our data centers. Data centers use power like crazy, super high density, okay? And then we're going to go net negative. And so this is also pushing a lot of other companies. We're seeing a lot of other announcements to do this. So think about all the things you need to measure in order to do this. You need to know your Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 across everything. And what does that mean? That means GHG emissions, simply, but it also means all the biodiversity, everything across, water. How are you using water everywhere, right? And it covers all agriculture. So there's thousands and thousands of things. The other thing that we've announced, and that you should think about, we've announced a $1 billion fund. We started with a $50 million fund, and we gave that to lots of partners very quickly across 400 projects, very quickly. Now we have a $1 billion fund, and the details are coming out on how it's getting allocated, but there's three areas, right? Accelerating ongoing technology development by investing in project and debt finance. Okay? So if you're involved in a customer here, and they're a Suncor, I know some of the guys in the room are working with a Suncor or something like that, and they're working on reducing emissions, and you're working on a great IoT device, why aren't you thinking about applying for a grant? Why aren't you thinking about doing that and saying, okay, I'll work with an educational institution, and we'll make our technology, and then we're going to be able to ship this technology around the world, right? So we've agreed we're going to spend this money in the next 4 years, starting a month ago to do these things. And we spent the first 50 million before that very quickly on projects and innovation. That's the kind of thing we want to do to help accelerate. Okay, so number 2, investing in new innovations through equity and debt capital. I've got a company and whatever, Microsoft's going to take a piece of that for a amount of money. We're going to invest in that. You've got a new innovation that's going to reduce whatever, nitrous oxide or, CF, chlorofluorocarbons or whatever, I can't say it correctly. You're gonna reduce emissions in a big way. Think about something like that. Major opportunities, right? I actually think it's going to be hard to invest that much money with all of the ideas that are out there to go through that many ideas. So I want you to look for interesting things. We're thinking about ideas like hackathons. How do we pull us together? How do we just put a bunch of ideas on the table? One of the ones is with all the oil and gas companies. How do we put those on the table and go through them incredibly quickly? I'll keep going. Okay, 5 minutes. Just for an example, I want to show you. I did the research. This is all public information. Here's the emission levels from the top my customers, the top 20 of my customers in terms of emissions in Western Canada. Look how many exceed Microsoft levels, and they only state, for the most part, Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions. Scope 3 emissions are usually 6 to 7 times higher. So if you took a Canadian Natural Resources with 22 megatons, they probably are emitting 100 million tons of emissions. Probably, if you did the math, if you use Chevron's math, Chevron is emitting about 400 million tons. So their Scope 1 and 2 emissions are 6.6 times less than their Scope 3 emissions, because think of all the people burning gasolines in cars and utilizing all that. They're going to have to measure all of this, all of it. It's an IoT opportunity. Okay? So in my last 5 minutes, I want to give you one more thing to think about. And we are investing heavily in autonomy. So everybody, when you hear autonomous vehicles, everybody thinks of the cars that are in Phoenix and those types of autonomous vehicles. I actually think we should be thinking much broader. Like back to agriculture, what are all the things that could be autonomous? We used to drive a grain truck out to the field and back, and we used to do that. And, Dave probably did that when he was 6 or 7. But a lot of those trips are things that could be autonomous, are much smaller vehicles, different form factors. So Microsoft's bringing out a platform, but just on the vehicle side, we're looking at the big statistics, and I can send you this, you can look at it all. There's reasons why people are doing all kinds of autonomy. A bunch of it's around safety, a bunch of it's around, cost-effective. Think about accessibility. How many people can't get a ride today? I see all people waiting for buses and things like that in Calgary. That's going to be considered just ancient transportation, right? It's going to be to your door when you want to get picked up. It's Uber without a driver. All of those things are happening. Okay, there's reasons why. And so at Microsoft, again, we want to give you the tools and an open ecosystem. A bunch of partners. You want to do something. I need something to be autonomous. We've got a program for drones. If you look it up, it's called AirSim. You want to simulate algorithms to run drones and make them completely autonomous to fly routes. Maybe you want to fly them over the oil sands and do mapping or whatever you want to do. You can create a simulated digital environment. You can recreate Calgary in a digital environment and train drones to fly between the buildings, whatever you want to do. We want to provide the tools for you to do that, but it's your ideas that are going to make it fly. Okay? So we've got a whole bunch of things around that to help you.
For that video?
Yeah, let's do that just to finish, to wrap with time. I'll give you a quick example of, here's a company that's just very innovative in agriculture, doing things on a small scale, but look at the possibilities. You think, the form factor, these are small vehicles, but now they're autonomous, taking away something that before was very laborious. Those are the things you want to look for, and IoT is kind of the first step in that. IoT is the first step to autonomy. I don't know what we can do for volume.
Volume is going to be a problem.
It's okay. You can walk through. This is a company called Hitch, and I posted this on LinkedIn. You can watch it on my LinkedIn feed. And there you go. You had volume. It was working. Yeah.
There we go. Might go through the projectors.
Okay. This is very expensive farming. They've got vineyards out there. Row crop farming is different than grain farming.
Just to illustrate this problem, labor accounts for roughly 50% of the price of cost of grain. During harvest, laborers spend 30% of their time transporting grain, meaning that they're highly underutilized. Farmers need to be more productive to produce enough food for the world. We're able to use unmanned robotic vehicles, autonomous vehicles, to transport agricultural goods from one location to another, for instance, along the roads of the grape field.
Seeing the people work in the field and the amount of energy they're expending to get fruit out inside the field, out inside of the field was tremendous. It's more to provide easier to talk to them, make them more efficient, make their lives.
You can see it's one standard small vehicle at the front, and they've got 3 different attachments that they've got at the back.
Machine learning,
Push all their algorithms down. So if you're familiar with our IoT framework, it allows you to push all your algorithms to the edge now, so you can have all that intelligence live out on a vehicle. So these guys have pushed it out to that little vehicle at the front.
HNC Farms has been
Half of their cost is labor, right? Half of their cost in their farming is labor. So you gotta look at the business, where's the cost? That's super simple. That vehicle's not going to run over you at 130 kilometers an hour. You do not need the amount of intelligence as you do on an open road or the legislation and stuff like that. This guy's created this very, very quickly. And if you don't know how to do that on the platform and the IoT thing, there's Terry right there who understands the platform, and we're here at Microsoft. That's the kind of stuff you can do with robotics combined with IoT. And those are the kind of things that I see as the future.
Pretty proud to be founding partner because as a farmer, it really makes it feel good that we are providing solutions to make this business life. At the end of the day, they can go.
The other thing they're talking about, they didn't cut their staff, right? They got them doing the work faster, on time. They got more grapes. They improved that business. It's not about cutting people. What more can you do to make these businesses better? It's a better way to work here in Alberta. I can probably stop it there. You can see that we'll send it all out to you guys.
Where are they?
Innovative scenarios. But to me, IoT is the first step on the way to autonomy, and you got to think about that because you're going to see autonomy all over the place.
Where is that company, Mark?
That one's out of California as well, but it's just highlighting one of the partners that we work with here.
And your
yeah, for sure. And thank you for the time.
We'll have some time for you to ask questions after Denise speaks, okay?
All right, can you hear me okay? Is it fine now? Yes. Absolutely. Good morning. My name is Denis Fouché. I'm the IoT Partner Ecosystem Manager for Microsoft across LATAM, the US, and Canada. Last year, I told my boss that I wanted to focus moving forward on LATAM and Canada. That's why I'm here. And that's, I have 5 minutes to tell you a little bit more about what we've accomplished, and most importantly, tell you what resources we have available to you if you want to join that ecosystem. So I'm really pumped up to see a room full of people. I made the right decision. And I'll tell my boss that when I come back. I'm based in Seattle. I'm not French-Canadian. I'm French-French. Bear with me. So my partner in crime is Terry Mundine. So I'm the partner business development guy. Terry is more technical than me, and he keeps me honest from time to time. So I wanted to show you what the work we've accomplished specifically in Canada. So I put together this slide not to show you a bunch of logos, but you know what really makes us proud is that you have a very, very diverse ecosystem of partners in Canada now, after 3 years of work. Diverse from different perspectives. You see partners that are focused on devices, like Moxa. You have also partners that have developed their main competency around data analytics like Canvas or Quartic in the manufacturing space. You have small companies, startups like Stratuscent out of Montreal, to multinational companies like Emerson or Honeywell. You have companies that build their own IP, like Aware 360 out of Calgary, and you have companies like Arrow, Avnet, Cinex that help others build their own IP. You have local SIs like T4G out of Toronto, and you also have multinational big global SI like Accenture Avnet that are also investing in our platform and building repeatable solutions that they bring to market with us. So that's the extent of what we've done. And if you stop by, I only have 5 minutes, but my next meeting is at 3 p.m. and I'm going to hang around here if you want to talk to me after that. So I've got a bunch of those. That's the catalog of the solutions that we've developed around IoT specifically for the last 2 years across the region, across the Americas. So that's where we are. And my goal here is to hear from you if you want to join us and if you want to help us build even more repeatable solutions around the Microsoft platform. And that's what we have to do to help you do that. So first, everything that I'm going to talk about, in order to access it, you need to be a Microsoft partner. The entry level is as low as you can imagine. So being a MPN partner, Microsoft Partner Network, it's online registration and it's free. As you grow up, as you impact more and more the Azure consumption that we're targeting, then you get access to even more benefits. Everything that I'm going to talk about is specifically IoT specific. It's been really developed by our team, but also by the rest of Microsoft. So that's what I'm representing today. So let's start with buildways. If you are a device manufacturer, we want others to be able to find out what you can contribute to their solutions. So we have a device catalog of devices, IoT only, certified with Azure. This device catalog, free access, self-service, also helps you find customers and partners. So it's also something that can help you on the cross-sell side moving forward. If you are a developer of a solution, if that's what your intent is, we have, as soon as you enter the MPN network, a lots and lots of documents, technical resources, sales resources. We've built a guide that's called How to Build an IoT Practice. If it's really early for you in your thinking and you don't know where to start, I would recommend that you look at that document. We also have an online experience where you can basically, step by step, see what is, what you should do, where you should start, and what you should do next. So we also have a platform. We also have services. We have Azure services that are generic, that can be used for any workload. We also have Azure IoT-specific services that you can build on. You can build platform as a service solutions. You also have a software as a service, a packaged solution by Microsoft, built by Microsoft, managed by Microsoft. That's called IoT Central. That also is available to partners to build on and go faster to market with. In terms of resources that we also had to help you build, we also have a program that we call IoT Accelerate. It's only for IoT projects. It's basically funding that we make available to you to build a solution from the ideation phase to the POC phase to the pilot phase. So that's available. The amount of investment that we put on the table for one solution is up to $150,000 per solution. There is no limit in terms of solution that we fund with one partner. So that's what we do to help you build. We also have partners based in Canada that we draft, that we work with, Terry and I, like Avnet and Arrow, that can help you do that. If you don't have the resources or the skills, or if you think it would be faster for you, to rely on someone to help you develop that first solution of yours instead of doing it all on your own. So that really wraps up what we have on the build with side. Then we move to the go-to-market. some of you may or may not be aware that we've really, over the last 3 years, created a brand of events and webinars called IoT in Action. We are doing this fiscally, the last 12 months, we're going to do 33 of those events worldwide. We've done one in Toronto with 500 people for the second time, year over year. And any partner that's on our ecosystem is absolutely welcome to join any of those events, showcase showcase their skills, showcase their solution, and sell it outside of Canada if that's what they want to do. So IoT in Action is really something that we give access to any of our IoT partners in the ecosystem. We also have, we build catalogs, so that's what I left with you. You should also be aware that as soon as you develop the Microsoft solution on the Azure IoT platform, we add you to what we call the Azure Marketplace. So not only can you can showcase your solution, you can have demos that are available online on the Microsoft.com site. You also have the ability to transact those solutions through the Azure Marketplace and have access to our installed base of customers worldwide. So that's the go-to-market section of our value proposition to partners. The next one and last one is the sell with. As you may know, Microsoft has 22,000 sellers worldwide, so that's certainly a big asset for us. We also have partners that have channels that you can also leverage. And I mentioned MPN earlier on. MPN is really the largest channel program you can find. We're talking about over 300,000 partners worldwide that you can have access to. So if you're interested to develop yourself in an indirect way, I really encourage you that you talk to companies like Avnet or Arrow that have access to end customers. They have their own sellers, but they also have channel of resellers that you have access to. On the sales, the co-sell side, once you work with us and develop a repeatable IoT solution from edge to cloud on the Microsoft platform, we are going to vet that solution and add you to what we call an internal asset that's called the OCP catalog. As you get to the level of readiness that we think is right to be in market with, we're going to publish that solution internally so that every seller in Microsoft can find out about you and can help you co-sell in their own accounts. For the first time in the many years I've been at Microsoft, we've started also incentivizing our sellers to work with the partner and promote our partners' solutions into their accounts. And we have now a financial incentive because now if that solution is in the catalog and if they promote it, and you close the sale at the customer, they can claim 10% of the value of your sale, not only the Azure component of that, but 10% of the value of your sale, and credit that to their quota. So that's the first time in my long career at Microsoft that I've seen that happening, and it's only for Azure solutions. So, so I mentioned the partners. I mentioned the last thing that I want to left you with. I mentioned IoT Accelerate as program as funding available to help you build a solution. We have exactly the same program to help you co-sell your solution. So as you go through the process, you develop, you publish on the catalog, you are available on the marketplace. We also have funding to help you on your most significant opportunities, fund a POC, co-fund a POC, co-fund a pilot, and help you accelerate your sales cycle of your solution into your customers. So I've really rushed through that. As I said, I'm available for more questions after my presentation, and I hope to have you join us and build the next generation of IoT solutions on the Microsoft platform. Thank you.
So does anyone have questions for these two gentlemen?
I do. Yes, my question refers to, I believe you guys have a digital twinning for intelligent building, commercial building applications. Is there resources here in Calgary, and kind of where does that stand?
I'll let Terry say that one.
Oh yeah, digital twin is of interest to a lot of companies. We have what's called a sort of a
preview program right now. All of Microsoft's technologies come out in a preview format. It's kind of like a beta in a way where we get customer feedback. We released last year our preview of Azure Digital Twin. It's out there right now. You can download it. You can start using it if you'd like, and get familiar with it. But through that process, we realized that we got so much feedback that we're going to V2, and V2 is going to be a big step. It's out due this year, probably mid-year or so. You'll see it in a preview format. I wouldn't recommend if you want to learn on V1, go ahead. That's fine. But I would wait for V2 before I seriously started commercializing it.
Is that Q3, Q4? What's
that'd be probably end of Q2.
Q2? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Does anyone on the line have a question?
Oh, sorry. Any other questions in the room?
I have a question. The question is mostly related to what you do with the data. And what we found in our business, which is power quality, is that you can get a lot of data, but if you can't interpret it, it doesn't mean anything. And so analytics, especially when every building is different in terms of power quality, the equipment's different in that. So what kind of data can you capture that then you can actually analyze and create solutions from that data? So I'm wondering what portion of data is used to solve problems like power quality? And I know I'm talking to the guys in IoT and not power.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. Do you want to go in the middle where people can see? Cover power. Power specifically. First of all, a great way to answer that question, first of all, is look at, and Terry was just talking about digital twin. An early partner with us on digital twin was PCL Construction. So you got a great Alberta company, a great Alberta story. I encourage you all to look at YouTube and look at the PCL digital twin with Microsoft to see that technology. On the power side, there's also a lot we're doing in the power area. You want to look, write down a name, Agder Energy. I guess we could send a list of these to see.
PCL is a member of our group and has spoken at
Alberta IoT. So on the construction side, first on digital twin, but then on the power side, companies like Agder Energy, we are really jumping into that in a different way. So Microsoft also has a base supply and demand solution for power, but across the power and utilities industry, there's just thousands of use cases. I had up there sustainability, for example, just the sustainability use cases in the power industry. We have people that specialize just in power. Christian Honigsvag is our worldwide power and utility lead. So when you have a specific question like that and say, I want to know, are you looking at things in power quality? There's another 100 partners that we have or our first party solutions. So we'll take it away and connect you directly, because there's going to be we have a whole deep discussion just on power quality. You're probably far deeper than any of us here. Thank you. I know that was broad, but.
And then we someone over here had a question.
We are actually developing our solution in IoT for crops. And we're trying to make some comparison between the two-channel maturity programs that Amazon Web Services and Microsoft are having. Could you make a little bit or a comparison between the two so we can make a clear decision on what to do next?
Right, pressure question. Pressure?
Yeah, no pressure.
I think it's the right place over here. I don't mind it. Okay. That's first starting better. We're going to hear
I'm not an expert on agriculture, and so I won't be able to really answer that. And that's, I think the way that I'm going to answer it is that beyond the platform decision that you have to make, the feature-to-feature comparison, you should also take into account the focus that both companies have on IoT. I didn't mention the numbers, but we're very proud that Satya allowed us to spend $5 million in developing everything that we showed you is not today. So that's an investment that you're not going to find anywhere else. So we really bet the house on IoT. Some other companies have not done that. And we are trying to do that across several industries, including agriculture. So that's also something that I think is pretty unique, is what Mark described as the Farm Beats initiative. That's we're doing, that's really open source, that's not a product that we sell. That's our contribution to basically saying we've developed data models and go build a solution and sell it and monetize it if you want to. So that's, I won't go into the technical comparison because I don't have the answer, but take a broader look at that and the efforts we're putting in bringing the ecosystem together and the efforts we're putting in helping you sell whatever you're going to develop on the platform. I think that's really what's differentiating us the most. Okay?
All right.
Before I take the next question, I forgot to mention one thing that's super important also. That's also a differentiator, I think. For the first time in our history, we are building some hardware for MCU. So it's called Azosphere. Many of you have said that in their introduction that they were around security. If you're developing a device, an equipment, or if you want to secure an IoT infrastructure, we have an end-to-end solution from the MCU to the connectivity to the cloud service, and we really have been, I want to say, very innovative in that. So we already have projects in Canada that I can't talk about, but if you go and look for the Starbucks story around Azosphere, I think it will give you a good idea of what you can do now. If your customers are concerned about security, Microsoft has also put a really skin in the game in securing not only our devices, but securing the IoT devices in general and showing how it can be done. Sorry. And that's two of those if you want to play with it.
We're talking about the autonomous capabilities. It's almost like survival of the fittest. Tesla's talking about it, and Uber's talking about it. So where does that stand, or is there an industry that there's some rationality to it, so to speak?
Well, we'll see where the rationality goes. But a couple, just to tie a couple of questions together. Oh, yeah, sorry.
First of all, there's a couple of key points. So first of all, Microsoft is also very, very much committed to being open source. And so I would, when you're thinking about selecting a platform, as you are, or you're thinking about something in autonomy, who is now committed to doing that? And we will fully admit, we did not have the history of that. And it was really the last 10 years that we've become very committed to that. So it wasn't always that way. But that should be important to you as well. Who is focused on always creating a platform instead of creating that one solution that you're creating and maybe overrunning that one solution? We are very committed in creating those platforms. I think autonomy is happening in a lot of different ways, and you're going to see all kinds of competition. People are calling that the new operating system of the world. That's why there's so many billions of dollars. There's about 40 companies that are putting multi-billions into doing that autonomy. Microsoft, though, go back to our value system. You won't see us, at least nothing that I've heard, you won't see the Microsoft autonomous car because we don't want to be running over all those people in that industry. But you will see platform. I'll be quoted, that'll be on the news there. Autonomous platform, yeah. But you will see us put out all the platform components. We'd like to see thousands of different types of vehicles that are autonomous, hundreds of thousands of things that have IoT enabled inside of them. That's what we're trying to incubate. That's why we love these things, because it's your ideas that are going to be in front of the customers, and hopefully our platform. That's what we're trying to do. So yeah, I do think that the concept of autonomous, but I do think it's also got to be with values and ethics, not just about eliminating other jobs. How do we make our planet better? Here's the big goals that we need to look at. We don't have enough energy for the planet. We don't have enough food for the planet. There's a billion people that live on less than $1 a day. We've got a bunch of these big challenges. We've got all this technology, and we've got all these smart people. Why aren't we solving these things? And that's what we would like to see. So autonomy can be a part of that, but we want to see it in a positive way.
Another question over here. More of a comment and feedback from you than tying back to the analytics.
and the autonomy is, unless you're in downtown Calgary and have a big fiber pipe to the Azure cloud, how do you get that big compute? And I know we're working with companies here in Calgary and others that actually are talking stuff like the Azure Stack Edge. And I think people need to be aware from a product awareness that you can still get everything from Azure at the edge with some edge computing. I think it's important to talk about that product.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Not enough time. I'll do it quickly with a microphone. But yeah, I wish I had time to pull one more slide. But you think about we have said we want to be both intelligent cloud and intelligent edge. Okay, so edge for us is going to mean a lot of different things. The first is the very smallest part of the edge, and if you look at the IoT platform that we have, you can in a very small form factor. If you look at Azure Sphere, very small form factor, put more and more intelligence. So we as well as our competitors we're looking to compress all these algorithms and put that intelligence out on the smallest device. But it doesn't have to be small. We also have products on the edge that are like fridge size, massive compute now. So Azure Data Box Edge, and what's the one? Azure Data Box Heavy is the one. Sorry, Rod's laughing at that. Massive compute now at the edge, but again with all the features that you can get in Azure centrally. So you really want to think about what's your use case. Are you building that autonomous vehicle and you have a certain form factor? Do you have the absolute smallest device that you need cellular connectivity for way out in the field? There's all kinds of variety that's happening on the hardware and software side, and that's a great point. You didn't bring it up at all, but you should be, when we say edge, there's all kinds of variety now coming back to the edge. I feel ancient when I talk about it. When I think about computing, right, we started these massive mainframes centrally, right? And then we distributed all computing to the desktop, and we thought that was the greatest thing in sliced bread. And then we had the internet again, and a different distributed architecture. And then we went, oh, we're all cloud. Cloud is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now it's like, oh, back out to the edge, right? So you've seen this movie. Yeah. We'll just admit it. But hopefully it gets better as we go.
I think this would be for Denis, but I just have a question. Are you, nobody's mentioned fintech. I don't know how Internet of Things would fit into fintech, but many of my funders use fintech for alternative funding.
So you said fintech, I'm not sure.
Fintech, financial technology, finance industry.
Okay, you mentioned, you're talking about the sector. Okay.
Yes.
So the only use cases that I've seen so far, you're right, I haven't seen many, but I did see a few in Latin America, for example, where insurance companies use IoT, like cameras or devices, to verify the way you drive, for example, so that they lower your premium if you accept to have a device in your car, and then they can verify that you're indeed a good driver, and so that's one of the use cases that I've seen. In some of the use cases that we refer to all the time, like asset tracking, energy efficiency, they are everywhere. They're really horizontal, and we see them used in finance and insurance companies as well. But yeah, so far I've seen more solutions related to insurance, and they're all about trying to capture additional information about their customers, and in order to provide the right product and to incentivize them to behave or whatever. We also have lots of use cases in smart home that's also related to insurance, where the premiums are lowered if you accept to have a smart home or a security and cameras in your house. So that's what I've seen. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you very much. So to finish off the morning, these wonderful gentlemen are actually, or Rod over there, is actually going to allow you to have a walk around and see some very cool devices. We have a couple little key things we want to go over with before we go. Wally, do you want to speak?
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Wally Thorson. I'm with Platform Calgary. How many people know about Platform Calgary and the work we do with tech entrepreneurs and founders?
Yeah.
So we are a civic agency that is here to help build a more connected and productive innovation ecosystem, and we have a goal of effectively 5xing the amount of tech entrepreneurship in the city of Calgary and in the province of Alberta in partnership with an innovation corridor with Edmonton. So we're very pleased to work with groups like Alberta IoT and community partners to do things that really help founders get their business off the ground and turn into successful job creation engines for prosperity in our province. And I'm really excited about all the disruption that I feel in this room. It's really amazing. How many of you have heard of IoT North? I think you mentioned it. One of the things we've decided to do is partner with them to provide a pitch event. And I'm asking, how many people here are in a IoT startup? Show of hands. There's got to be more. Well, I've seen a few. How many of you know founders in an IoT startup? Okay, I need your help. We're looking for 12 amazing startups to participate in a pitch event at IoT North. It'll be on the 27th with prizes awarded on the 28th. We're still looking for sponsorship for those things, and we're pulling this together. But I wanted to get the word out because there's only going to be about 6 weeks for startups to decide they want to be a part of this and to apply. And so in the next 2 weeks, we'll be going live with a website with IoT North, trying to curate applications for the IoT pitch event. Platform Calgary will be providing pitch coaching and advisory to those startups in the weeks leading up to the event. And so we'll help you polish your pitch. We'll help really coach that through, and you'll be given an opportunity to take your message to really a global audience about what you're doing in IoT. So if you're interested in that, keep your eye on IoT North's website. In a couple weeks, we'll be going live with the application. I'll be posting something on the Slack channel for Alberta IoT, and we're just really excited. And if you are interested in helping out or getting behind that and helping us produce this in some way, just please come talk to me afterwards. So thanks very much.
So you'll find information about IoT North on our website, and once Wally has that information to us, we'll add that too. So before we go to the tour, most of you know that I'm a big proponent on visibility. You should know who's in the room. You should be engaging with each other. It's an opportunity to work together. So I'd like everybody to haul out their phone and get their LinkedIn app going. So you do actually have to go to the app. You can't go to the website. You have to be on the app. And what I would like you to do is to go to the bottom of the page when you open up your app, and you'll see the My Network with the 2 people. I'd like you to tap on that. And as soon as you tap on the little guy at the bottom, you'll see a little blue Find Nearby on the right-hand side of your phone. You enable it. And now you will find out who's in the room. This app goes away, this open page goes away the minute you close your phone, so you will not get spammed. But this is how you get to know who's in the room. And this is how we make friends and we start working together. Now, we are around for another half hour, 45 minutes. You're able to connect with people in the room, and then you're able to go for a tour with Rod, and he'll show you some of the cool, shiny things in the room, in the other room. So is everybody finding what we're doing here? Who needs help?
It's Bluetooth, so you might have to walk around actually with people.
You do have to be on. Okay.
Yes, if you come on.
Oh, just that one?
And Find Nearby.
And enable.
And it'll enable your, it'll just enable your Bluetooth. Just as an
Is everybody finding them?
Yeah. I'm Adam.
You do see these. Actually, what I do want to see. Good.
What their first name was. I remember the company.
All remind me of my teenage kids. I'm Rod Fitzgerald. I'm the technical architect of the MTC. So as Brenda mentioned, please come on, follow me. When you're finished here, no rush. I'm around here for quite a while. I've got a room down at the far end of the facility here, what we affectionately call the Technology Center, the MTC. I've got shiny stuff, yeah. I've got a few different devices, different demo scenarios to set up and walk you through. Some that's using our own technology, some that's our partner solutions. A good friend of mine, Jim Jovis, over there with Expedo. We're running some stuff over LTE. We're going to showcase that. All sorts of great things. So when you're ready,
Wow.
You can pace yourself, trickle over, don't all come at once, I won't fit you all in there, I've got room for maybe 20 people.
So to finish off, obviously, it's good to connect with everybody here. These wonderful two ladies here are part of our events committee. They will be outside after this. You can go see them if you're interested in registering for events coming up, our Geomatic events next week. Our membership information is also with these ladies. And if you don't have time today, please just go to our website. And thank you very much, and thank you, Microsoft, for hosting us today. Thank you, Edmonton, and those on the phone. We will be finishing up shortly. Thanks.
No, not a.
Just the bubble gum machine. Industrial. Early traffic. I'll find out later. No, I think